Barnside Chat. We take your questions from the magic rainbow bag. Love lives here, so join us today for Heath's Barnside Chat. You can find us in Campbellville, Ontario. We have rescued chickens, pigs, and cows and goats. We've got plenty more farmed animals, big and small, all for love and love for all. Welcome to Heath's Barnside Chat. We take your questions from the magic rainbow bag. Love lives here, so join us today for Heath's Barnside Chat. Our mission is to inspire kindness and compassion for farmed animals everywhere. You can help us take action by volunteering or through donations, or visit our store and check out our website to learn more. Welcome to Heath's Barnside Chat. We take your questions from the magic rainbow bag. Love lives here, so join us today for Heath's Barnside Chat. Happily ever after Farm Sanctuary.
Hello, friends! Welcome to another episode of Heath's Barnside Chat. My name is Derek, and I don't know why I am so white balanced right now. My goodness, I don't know what's oh, there we go. There, the camera has, it's now dropped me off. Let me come a little closer so it doesn't do that. I had my big clip on my finger reminding me to unmute the camera as we started. This is my big memory clip, so I'm going to put that over here until we need it again. Hello, welcome. Good to see everybody. Hello, Claire. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Bettina. Hello, Claire. Hello, Doya. Is it Doya? Yeah, I've never heard that name before. From Berlin and Germany. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We would love to see where the worldly audience of Heath's is coming at you today. And you'll notice that we really are Barnside today. And we are inside Heath's main barn. This is the biggest barn that we have, and this is an original structure that was here on the property when we first arrived here. And it's a combination of two barns, actually. I'm in the new barn, and then there's the old barn, which is over this way. And the old barn has hand-hewn trusses, and where this one here you can see is like regular 2x12 and block construction. On that side, it's fieldstone construction. So there is a lot of history in this barn, and I can hear a lot of my friends calling my name. Let's see who else is tuning in. We got somebody from Arizona, Maria, Pat from Nova Scotia, Carol from Arizona. Hello, Becky. So good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. It is kind of a gloomy day out today on the farm. It is, it's raining, and yesterday was really mild out, and we got rid of a lot of the snow melt. Not a whole lot of snow left, but you can see that we are presented with a lot of other challenges besides snow, and that is mud and water flow. And mud and water flow this time of year can be super challenging, but thankfully we've made improvements, little incremental improvements every year to make sure that we're controlling water a little bit better. And every year there seems to be another problem that comes up. The list of what to do on the farm is enormous, and when you think that it's going to finish, it gets even bigger. There is always something to do on the farm. So I could definitely hear Captain Dan call my name, and I could absolutely hear Bobby Girl call my name. As soon as I entered the barn, they started talking to me, and I didn't even say a word. I'm happy to be out here today. I'm happy to be with you, bringing you all the latest news that is Happily Ever Esther Farm Sanctuary. Let's give you an update on the Esther Shares Share the Love campaign. Last month in February, we had the Share the Love campaign running where we needed your help to raise $20,000. That's so that we could continue that program, and that's where we help other farmed animal sanctuaries in North America that come upon unexpected medical care costs for their residents. And let me tell you, there are a lot of unexpected costs with running a farmed animal sanctuary, and we are glad to be able to help out. So, ladies and gentlemen, the grand total, we were going for $20,000, and here it is. We raised $26,210. And that money will be redistributed for folks that have a farmed animal sanctuary and that come across unexpected healthcare costs and that they need their help. So without you, friends, we would not be able to keep this program going. Last year, we were able to help out under 20 farmed animal sanctuaries, and this year already we have helped 7. So there's a big increase this year in need for sure, and we will be telling you about some of the stories that we were able to, of sanctuaries we were able to support. If you donated to the campaign, you will receive a quarterly update on just how well that program is. But thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without you, that program would not be able to operate. So a round of applause for you. The donors are so special to this place, and we are so grateful for every single dollar that is raised. This place takes an absolute enormous vault of money to operate, and love too, but love doesn't pay the bills, and we love you so much for helping us do that. All right, let's have a look and see what's happening across the farm. Last week on Kevin's This Old Barn update, he was telling you all about the new security camera system that is in the barn. And if we look around the barn, you can see there are cameras absolutely everywhere in here. And the cameras are used to help us detect fire in an we have a lot of things in the barn that are heated. We have a lot of tools that require electricity, and the threat of barn fires is real. And with the addition of these cameras, we will be able to detect fire the second that if I was to light a lighter in here, I'll be able to do a test for you and show you exactly how that works. But if someone just lit a lighter in here, the alarm would go off and it would notify all of the caregivers and maintenance staff on their telephones, and it would tell them where the fire is. Last week there was a false alarm, and it happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the bells and whistles were going off outdoors, and they went off for about 15 minutes before we were able to make it stop. But we checked all of the areas, and there was a fault somewhere, and they're coming back to check that out. But yeah, it was so loud at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sure the police were going to come. But if you're our neighbors, I'm so sorry about that. I'm sure that you heard it, but false alarm, thankfully. Barn fires can happen upstairs in the attic like that. If you have wet hay or improperly stored hay and straw, it can spontaneously combust. Typically, it happens when you put it away after it's first been cut off of the fields, and if there's too much moisture in it, it starts to break down and it starts to create heat. And if that's happening on the inside of a pile with 2,000 bales of hay, well, you're not going to see it until it's too late. And let me tell you, 2,000 bales of hay is quite a pile of accelerant, and there wouldn't be anything that would put that out. So part of this year's plan is to make a plan, get the site all ready for the new hay storage building, which we don't have the money for yet. We are just getting the site ready. We have to cut down a bunch of scrub brush and prepare the site, get the stones out of the way. The farm is a blessing and a curse in disguise. There are a million stones, and I mean a million. You can't even put your shovel in the ground without hitting one. So preparing the site over there is going to be an expensive endeavor, but we're going to clamp that off this year, and we're going to do it with your help because volunteer days are returning very soon. They'll be returning in April and May and April, May, and June and July in August and September and October, and then we finish there in October because it gets cold and not too many people are interested in working outside. But we're going to clear that site. We're going to paint a few buildings. We are also going to clear up all the pastures and make some stone walls. So if you'd like to be involved with those work days, all you have to do, if you are not already signed up member, stay up to date with sanctuary news and events, subscribe to the newsletter. So head on over to happilyeverester.ca and you can click on stay informed and sign up for that newsletter. And a kind admin who is monitoring your language below in the comment feed will put the link where you can sign up for that, because you don't want to miss out, because they fill up fast. And we do a variety of work, and the work is for everybody. We have jobs in the vegetable garden, we have paint jobs, we have picking up poop, the famous poop crew. We'll clean up all of the pastures and replant some seed in the areas that need it. They'll pick up sticks and stones and they'll do all that. Friends, I'm talking a lot here. We've got a lot to get through today. The first thing that we have to do is we have to get to the magic rainbow bag. It's hanging here on my stand. Let me unclip it here. The magic rainbow bag, here it is. I've got Steve's magic rainbow bag. Inside of the magic rainbow bag is a tiny little printer, and every time you ask a question online, it prints off inside this bag. Here is the first question. This comes from Jeff, and Jeff wants to know, in the U.S. there are growing zones to know which plants best. Oh, so what growing zone is Heath's in? California is in 10B. Does Canada have a similar system? Yes, we do have a similar system, and we are in 6A. We are in 6A. That's Toronto zone, and it went up a zone a few years ago, and that's probably because of global warming. But I'm just making stuff up. I would have to say that we've gone up because of global warming. Right behind me here, who is here in the camera view? We got Hercules and Mercy. Hercules and Mercy, hello guys. It's so good to see you.
Yes, hello there. Hello. So good to see you.
All right, let's take another question from the question bag. Remember, if you have a question that you would like answered, we won't be able to answer it this week because the question bag is filled up, but we will put it in the bag for next week. So don't forget, if you have a question, put it in the comment feed below. Okay, let's see. Next question. Oh yes, this is from last week's. This is a follow-up from last week's question. Does a beard on a turkey have a purpose? Well, it does have a purpose. I had thought that it was to attract a mate, and I didn't know for sure, but that was my best guess. And when I looked it up and Google searched it, it indeed is used to attract a mate. It is one of the things that delineates a male from a female turkey. All right. Margaret wants to know, are all the animals microchipped? Well, no. All of the residents are not microchipped. Most of the residents are microchipped. All of the pigs, all of the big heads, they're all microchipped. The goats and sheep are all microchipped, but we have not microchipped the chickens. To the best of my knowledge, Andrea, the chickens aren't microchipped, are they?
No.
No, it's just
They could be. Chicken or pigs.
It's the pigs, the goats, and sheep.
I don't think so.
The goats and sheep, not yet.
I remember doing the pigs. That was a little bit
So
dramatic.
all of the pigs, and was Pouty? I think I remember Pouty getting one. I think so. We'll have to look that up. So much happens on a daily basis. There are hundreds of actions that happen here on the farm, and we have a wonderful database of all of the residents that live here. So we would have to look into that. But absolutely 100% all of the pigs are microchipped, and I believe the other ones are too. But again, so much happens here, and we do a little bit more each year because it's it's an expense that if we keep adding and adding and adding to the healthcare costs, So last year we did a few more. So I'm sure that this year, when oh, Hercules says, "Get away from my daddies, get away from there." Let's head on down the hallway and see what else is happening a little bit further down the hall. So if we head down the hall, you see we got fans and lights, and on the ceiling we have these fire suppression system here. It's called the Haven Fire Suppression System. We got Wi-Fi and cameras in each of the stalls. There are heat lamps. There are heated waters. Here's a stall that doesn't have anybody, but there's Captain Dan. Big boy. Oh. And there is Bobby Girl. Bobby Girl, the most beautiful lady on the planet, is here with us today. So I know you want to come out here. It actually looks like you've been out here in the hallway. Did you poop out here in the hallway? I think you did. Let's see who else we have down here that maybe want to come and see. Captain Dan. Big boy. Oh, there's Mama. Mama. Hello, baby. Hello. Hello. Hi. Hi, what you doing? Hi, Captain Dan. Hi, Mama. How are you? It's so good to see you. This is April, also known as Mama. Hello, that's me. That's me. And here's Captain Dan, who's looking over the railing here. He can come over and see us, but he's just hanging out over there. All right, let's take a question from the question bag here, hanging out with April. April. All right, April. The question is, does Esther mind if you attend to the crack in her hoof? Well, the answer to that is most of the time. Most of the time she lets us tend to it. If it's super sore, like if it's hot or sore, she has a tendency to pull it and guard it and or lay on it so that we can't get at it. But Esther is pretty good about it. Ever since she was a wee piglet, we played with her feet and made sure that she was not too sensitive about it. And we've been trimming her hoofs since she was, I think the first hoof trim was done when she was a year old. And we had a very kind vet show us exactly how to do it and taught us some tricks that we put up our sleeve. And since being here with 30 plus pigs in the herd, there is always somebody getting their hoofs cut or hoofs, a crack in their hoof. And there is always somebody that is denying medical care. Let me look over my shoulder here. We got Dee, who looks like she is dead. Hello, Dee. We got this is the Zin Pro hoof shoot here. This is the feet first hoof shoot. Dee is a caregiver here, by the way. I didn't tell you that. Hello. And so the pigs that don't want to have their feet tended to, we lead them through this right here. This is called a pig chute. And what happens is the pigs go into it, one at a time, of course, and then it raises up to about here so that their feet are hanging out below, and then we're able to tend to their feet without sedation and without much fuss. So that piece of equipment right there is used on a weekly basis. Sometimes it's a daily basis if somebody has a cast on or if they're getting a daily bandage change. So so Esther does let us tend to the cracks on her hoofs, but Esther is not like everybody here on the farm. So I'm dropping my stand. There we go. Let me get Bobby Girl in frame. Oh, she is so pretty. You are so beautiful. So that's that question. Next question. Oh, hello, baby girl. Hello. Lisa wants to know, are any clue what's on the trains that go by at the back? So at the back of the property, the back property line, there is a CN rail train line, one single track. Hello, baby. Hello. Hello. It's so good to see you. I will come and see you in a minute, okay? I will come and see you in a minute. There's a CN rail track, and it's a freight train. That's not passengers, it's freight only. I've only seen 2 passenger trains go by, and one was when there was a strike going on, and they were trying to get around a track protest. And the other time, it was an old antique passenger train, and it looked like it was on some sort of a soiree tour, and I haven't seen it since, but it made a different noise, and the horn on it was different. But for the most part, it's freight. And we've seen cars, we've seen windmill blades, we've seen petroleum products, we've seen big, huge shipping containers, and sometimes they even transport radioactive stuff. I've definitely seen a few containers that have the big radioactive symbol on it. So I'm like, get on by, get on by, get on by. So good question, Lisa. Let's see. Remember, friends, if you have a question, put it below in the comment feed, and we'll get it inside. Oh, I see a question up here. Will we get to see the polar plunge sometime? Yes, Allie, absolutely. The polar plunge video, it's all on me right now. I'm so sorry that hasn't gotten out. I've not been feeling that great, and that project is all on my shoulders right now, and I will hopefully be able to get that out this week. All of the video clips are safe on my phone and on the iPad. I just have to edit it together in a fashion that makes sense so everybody can get that. So the polar plunge video, that will go out to anybody that supported us during the Holiday Magic fundraiser campaign this year. Tanya wants to know, does Steve get an alpaca for Valentine's Day? No, Steve did not get an alpaca for Valentine's Day. Flowers and candies and breakfast is what Steve got, but no alpaca. Let's see. Oh, no, I just did that one. I got to crumple that one up. Just 1 second here. I'll put the camera on Bobby Girl. You can see her beautiful spots, her beautiful markings. There are the rest of the questions. Here they are. Aha. Yes. Good girl. I'm going to give Bobby Girl a little bit of kibbles. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So good. So good. A little treat from Dad. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, here's a question. Melanie wants to know, why does Esther not wear her prosthetic she had made for her hoof? Simple answer is it was throwing out her Hercules. It was throwing out Esther's back. It was causing her to walk funny, and it was having more of a bad effect than a good one. But I suspect that we still have it, but I suspect that we can use it for hoof issues that come up where we need to protect the hoof from mud, and that might be something that we may consider right now because the grounds are so soft and muddy. We may want to put that shoe on so that it protects that hoof in the short run. Great question. Ian wants to know, he says, I have heard that avian flu has reached farms in upstate New York. Is this in Canada right now? And what is the current news about the swine flu? Okay, so Ian, I did some research on this before, and I did hear this in the news. We have our own protocols here for how we deal with, disease and environmental stuff. So, yes, there is in fact the Canadian Food Inspection Agency says that avian influenza type H5N1 was detected on February 3rd in a commercial flock in western Nova Scotia. Here are some previous detections of that influenza in Canada across the year. So Nova Scotia in 22, Newfoundland and Labrador in 21, Ontario in 2015, British Columbia in 2014, and Manitoba in 2010. Bird flu is not good if you are a bird. It means almost that you're going to have a short life. And bird flu can actually jump to humans, and that's why there is such a cause for concern as it relates to commercial flocks. So typically what they do is all of the birds are terminated or killed and put in a landfill, or incinerated. It's absolutely horrible, and we hope that we never have to deal with an outbreak close by, because the farm would be put under quarantine, and birds within a 10-kilometer radius, their life will be in danger. That disease is spread through wild migrating birds when they poop and it drops on the property, and that's why you don't see a lot of commercial flocks outdoors, because there's not an easy way to contain disease coming from outside migrating birds. So we hope we never have that on the farm. The second question, Ian, you mentioned about the swine flu, and here is the swine flu update, and there has been a small change. So here is the swine flu, African swine fever, sorry, not swine flu, African swine fever, my bad. These are all the countries where it exists right now. So any of the countries in in red, that is where it exists right now. And just recently, African swine fever was detected in Dominican Republic, which is in North America. So that's as close as it is right now to the farm. And again, it means almost imminent, quick death if you are a pig. And if you are a pig in a factory farm setting, well, that's it for everybody within a 10-kilometer radius. It's spread primarily through wild pigs, and we do have wild pigs here in Ontario. They've been spotted, and it's so important that we keep our fences tight, and we have electric fencing on the inside to make sure that everybody stays in and everybody stays out. So great question, Ian. I don't like to think about these things, but we do have protocols on the farm for cleaning and making sure that people don't come directly from one farm to the next. We also have a cleaning protocol for tires as it relates to delivery trucks that may have gone farm to farm, such as the feed truck and or the vet. So we make sure that we'll keep those vehicles way over on the other side so that they're not bringing contaminations in close to the farm. The dunk tank, I covered that one. Maggie wanted to know, why do you limit the time that people can donate to the Esther shares? Well, the reason for that is so that we know how much money we have to operate that program with for the year. And also, we have to continue to raise money the other months for this place, because this place also is so important to us, as well as, helping out other farmed animal sanctuaries across North America. So we do have to be a bit selfish and be thinking always about the residents that are here, but that program runs all year long, and we divvy that money up on a monthly basis out to different sanctuaries. So good question. Peter wants to know, will you be implementing vaccine passports for visitors as the Toronto Zoo is doing? They have stated that animals are also vulnerable to COVID and therefore need to keep the passports in place. Good question. We will be evaluating that as we come up with our protocols for what we're going to be doing for the tours. But it does sound like a good idea to make sure that people are vaccinated. And we probably will have a masking policy in place for when we are in closed-in spaces, such as where I am right now. Kelly wants to know, how do Norris and Moby get along? Any competition? What do you think, Sherry?
Well, right now we actually have to keep our lovely Moby away from Morris because he's mounting her.
Oh, okay. I've heard of this before. Moby is mounting Norris, and Moby is considerably larger than Norris, and quite often in larger farmed animal sanctuaries. This is Sherry, everybody. There's Sherry, the caregiver, and she has daily contact with all of the. Whoops, there we are. She has contact with the residents. You work 3 days a week, Sherry, or 4? Is it 4?
Right now, 5 days.
5 days a week. 5 days a week she is seeing Moby and Norris. But there are sanctuaries that have larger flocks, and sometimes they'll keep the males separate from the females because there is such a weight difference. And
when they do mount them, sadly, he grabs at her neck a little and she loses some feathers.
Yeah.
So that's why we're protecting her.
Yeah, that's and she's not asking for that at all. Thank you, Sherry. It's certainly unconsensual, that is for sure. So they are separate right now, and that's probably just for the spring for a bit. We'll see how that goes, but they'll monitor that and make sure that everybody is comfortable. Oh, Captain Dan has entered the room. There he is. Hey, big boy. Hey, what are you doing? Hey.
It's so good to see. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you.
Oh, that's a nice big scratch. This is Captain Dan. He's one of our largest pigs. When he arrived here, he was around 900 pounds, but he is skinny and slender now. Check him out. My goodness. We have a scale that's right behind Captain Dan, and we weigh them on their healthcare checks, so we make sure that everybody is remaining a healthy weight. And it's a good indication if they're eating enough or not eating enough, if they're losing weight, or also if disease is setting in and you lose a bunch of weight. So those are all some great questions. Remember, friends, if you have a question that you would like answered, put it in the comment feed below. We would love to answer your question. Friends, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's Barnside Chat. My name is Derek Walter. I'm one of the founders here at the Farm Sanctuary, and I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. We'll see you next week on Heath's Barnside Chat. Goodbye, everybody.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.